Alright, remember how I used a really cheap Amazon fuel pump in my Suburban to keep it running? Well, it says ultra premium performance, so it should be really good, right? But I am questioning my choices a little bit. And I cut through the floor to install it instead of dropping the fuel tank. So when I learned that you could just cut a hole in the floorboards, I thought that sounded pretty attractive. I'm gonna go ahead and give myself a 2 out of 10 for craftsmanship on this. Well, the good news is I have access to the fuel pump. The bad news is that cheap fuel pump, I believe, has just gone out on me. So I'm stuck on the side of the road and I need to change the fuel pump. So I am digging into it. Let's see how it goes. So here's the interesting part. I just lifted the seat up, and where the fuel pump access door that I cut into the floorboards is located is right in the middle of the frame of the seat. So I cut the carpet back, and my flashing and self-drilling screws and duct tape job was still holding up fairly well. Everything looks good. So I'm gonna tear into that and see if I can change the fuel pump using only my multi-tool, because that's all I have with me. All right, wish me luck. All right, here's how it's going so far. There is the El Cheapo fuel pump that is now bad, I believe. And I had to bend this all back under the frame of the seat, so I had to kind of manhandle that a little bit, but I got it open, and I think I've got access to everything, so I'm going to take it apart and see if I can get it out. But there was a bit of fuel that fed back through from the engine, and I wanted to be really careful not to make a spark. I had to get that locking ring off. I did happen to also have a small pry bar with me in the Suburban, so I used that between these bolts and under the floorboard to spin that, and I was able to get it. I probably, if I was desperate and I didn't have the pry bar, I probably could have done something like this with my Leatherman and done a similar maneuver, but I happen to have the pry bar, so I used it. Stop! If you want to be safe and do it the right way and not explode, you need to follow this simple 14-step cleaning procedure before you do anything else. And also these safety precautions. You might want to pause the video and read through this real quick. I got the CarQuest Premium, which was $158. Very much like the Amazon pump, except it does have a little flippy flappy filter piece on the bottom, like the OEM one does. So yeah, I'm gonna put this in. Thankfully my wife was able to come pick me up and I could go get the part. And there's the old one. We'll get them swapped out and see how it goes. These little clippy-doo pieces were kind of a pain to get off for some reason, but I was able to get the blade of the Leatherman under there and work it up over the edge and got them on. So now we'll get it put down in the fuel tank like so. Oh, don't want those fuzzies in there. All right. Alright, she's kind of a little bit of a tight fit. I don't know if those springs are... Yeah, we'll get down in there. We'll get it. Alright, this was not very much fun to get this put back in place. I had to reef like everything on that retaining ring because I had to get that one nut there, or that bolt, stud, whatever, out of the way of the connector. And you can see it's still not quite fully engaged, but I got it on enough to get the connector on. I'm hoping that's enough to get me home. Hopefully nothing explodes because I got quite a bit of gas in here. I am going to turn the key on and hope for the best. All right, here is a moment of truth. Don't know if it's going to be the moment of truth, but we'll see. Turn the key on. I hear the pump. That's good. We have ignition. Excellent. Okay, hopefully I can make it home and I'll finish this video up. All right, I was able to make it home. This is 2 days later and everything is still running and working okay. So that's a positive. So I wanted to do a recap and say, would I recommend doing it this way? Well, for the cheap Amazon fuel pump, I would say I don't think so. As far as going through the floorboard, maybe. You would have to figure that out for yourself. For me, it seemed to work out okay. And I was able to fix the fuel pump again in 3 hours or less on the side of the road using only a Leatherman and a pry bar. So that was pretty easy. I didn't have to wait for a tow truck. I didn't have to take it to a shop. I didn't have to bring a bunch of extra tools and fix it. So that was good. But again, there are some risks involved and you have to judge that for yourself. So definitely not on the cheap fuel pump. I should have invested in that the first time and then I probably wouldn't have had the breakdown experience, but it was interesting and an experience. So until next time, I wish you the best.